Good evening, curling fans. Welcome back to the last draw of this first day of the first international Adelboden WCT Men's Tour event. There are 2 games out there this evening. This is the 3rd game for both of these teams. And your eyes do not deceive you, even though we are here at the first Adelboden International WCT Men's Tour. The eagle-eyed among you will notice that that seems to be a women's team that we're currently watching. That's absolutely correct. So we are really happy that we are able to welcome world champions, current world champions, Silvana Tirinzoni's team to the competition. The competition was also affected, as many of them are, has been affected by the coronavirus restrictions and travel restrictions, etc. And a few teams who wanted to play, who wanted to support the competition, were finally not able to travel. And the organisers needed a 16th team to make up the draw in this triple knockout format, and had the idea to invite the world champions. And to their great credit, they said, sure, this is a good competition for us too. So we're really happy to welcome all of the teams. Say thank you to all the teams who travelled and put their faith in the competition. But yeah, a special treat for all of us. Very much a silver lining to the coronavirus cloud is the presence here of Silvana Tirinzoni and her World Championship winning team. So we're just in the first end. Lots of stones in play. They are playing this evening team Bangerter, another Swiss team from Club Bern. So we'll say hello to the teams in just a second, after we see what happens in this first end. So in this first end, the last shot, the hammer, is with the Bern team, Bangerter. There are 3 stones to come in this first end. 2 from Bangerter and 1 more from Tirinzoni's team. First throw in this game for Christian Bangerter. They are throwing yellow stones. They are lying short just now. And since they have last stone, they will be keen to capitalise on that and try and score more than 1. Not quite sure what the decision was here, but I think that yellow seemed to stay a little bit straight. I don't think it curled as much as they wanted it to. Yellow still shot there. 1 shot each to come. So Tirinzoni's team to play next with their last shot, and then Bangerter playing yellow. They will have a further opportunity. Now, we've had plenty of these ends already today, and this is another one of those ends where Silvana Tirinzoni will say, you know what, -1 is not the end of the world for us here in this first end when we don't have hammer. And that means that this final stone from Alina Petz, it looks like she's pretty much playing a T-weight. So just to bump up to that yellow. If she gets it spot on, she may be able to just nudge that yellow back just 20 centimetres or so, and she may be able to lie herself, but it's not the end of the world if they simply block yellow from being able to make more than 1 point. For those of you learning tactics and learning skipping, this is another one of those ends where -1 is a fine result, but that's found that straighter line as well, so that doesn't help too much. The ice is really fast out there. This is competition ice. So a bit of a misfire from Alena Petz with her last shot there, but not easy for Christian Bangerter to sneak another yellow in. He has to outcount that red, which is really locked onto that yellow. But he's just played this line. And against world champions, you're not going to get too many misses out of them. They will be eager to take this opportunity. They're giving it a big old sweep as they move up the ice here. I'm not sure that's got the legs to get there. No, I think that's dropping short. A couple of little mistakes there from both teams there in that first end. But finally, 1 point scored by Team Bangerter. The now obligatory team committee meeting in between ends. And while they're doing that, we can say hello to the teams. Not much introduction needed for Silvana Tirinzoni's team. They are the reigning world champions. Remember, no world championship was played before the summer, so at the end of last season for 2020. So Silvana's team won in 2019, and they remain the world champions. So cool for them. They get to be world champion for 2 years. And not much introduction needed. Fourth thrower in that team is Alena Petz. Third and skip is Silvana Tirinzoni. Second thrower is Esther Neuenschwander. And we have another special guest today is Jenny Perrett throwing lead stones for Silvana's team. So normally it would be Melanie Barbadzet, but very capable alternate player in Jenny Perrett, who is a world champion in her own right. She and Martin Rios have won the mixed doubles world title. And Jenny and Martin represented Switzerland at the Olympics in the mixed doubles, as did Silvana's team in the ladies. So huge amount of experience out there in Tirinzoni's team. And they are up against this evening. Team from Bern. And that's skipped, and fourth thrower is Christian Bangerter. Third player is Danielle Inversini. Second player is Kim Lloyd Schibutz. And lead stones, we just saw from there, is Antoine Liaudet. So if there's a trophy for the most difficult names in the competition, then certainly Team Bangerter will be winning that. So my apologies to anyone's name that I just a bit swallowed there. How did we get to the games this evening? As I said, there are 2 games out there and all 4 teams are on their 3rd game today, so a bit of a long day for them, but the reward is that none of them have to get up for the 8 o'clock draw tomorrow morning. I don't think. I can just double check that. The tournament structure here is a triple knockout, and that means that 16 teams started this morning in the A road, and if you win your game you continue on the A road, and if you lose your game you drop to the B road. And same drill in the B road, so if you win your game you stay on the B road, and if you lose your game you drop to the C road. Same drill there. If you keep winning in the C road you stay there, but that's when the triple part of the triple knockout is evident. So if you lose a game from the C road, that's the 3rd loss and your competition is over. So it can be two extremes in this competition. We'll come back and discuss who's been having a good day at the office and who is having a tough game tomorrow morning. So if you keep winning, the triple knockout format means that you can get quite deep into the competition with just 2 or 3 wins. But it also means that your competition can be over quite quickly. If you have a bad day today and you've maybe lost a couple of games today, then you're kind of on your last life already tomorrow morning. So it's quite a tough format. It's just different. Last time, 2 weeks ago, when we were in Baden for the Baden Masters, the first European WCT event, that was a round robin format. So all the teams were guaranteed, I think, 5 or 6 games. They had a busy weekend, so it's just a different format. I think it's maybe more familiar to our North American players. I think that's typically the kind of structure they play. The round robins, maybe more a European sort of way of playing. So let's get our first look at Kim Lloyd-Sheebots. Second thrower for Team Bangerter. Both of these teams that we're watching in our featured game, as well as the game next door, they have both won a game. Sorry, all 4 of them have won a game and lost a game today. So they're all still on the B road. Winners of these games, they can have a nice leisurely morning, a nice easy brunch, and their next game will be at 2:15 European tomorrow afternoon. And the loser of this game, let me try and figure it out here. They're actually on at the same time, so that would be a C Road game. Well, actually, no, they would be on tomorrow morning. So yeah, if you win this game, you will stay in the B Road, and your next game will be at 2:15 European time tomorrow. And if you lose this game, both teams out there who lose this evening, they will be back on tomorrow morning at 10:45 for a C Road game. I think a lot of support out there for Silvana's team in this competition. I think everyone appreciates her team putting themselves out there.
Sonst gibt es dann den Doppel, aber...
As our technical chief scooted down in between ends to fix the microphone situation, so we can hear a little bit more of what's going on now. That's always adds to the atmosphere. Yeah, a lot of support for both Silvana's games.
Yeah.
I think today their first game was against Yannick Schwaller. That went to the last stone. And unfortunately for Silvana's team, they were leading for the whole game, and then Schwaller's team just snatched the win on that last stone. And then same thing happened in reverse this afternoon against Team Totzek, the German team. Also went to last stone, and this time it was the Totzek team who were on the end of losing out. We'll come back to that a bit later. But yeah, the result is that Tirinzoni's team have won 1, lost 1. And I think we all really appreciate seeing Silvana's team out there. That took good courage to say yes to this invitation. I don't think anyone's expecting some epic battle of the sexes. We're not here to decide once and for all whether girls or boys are better, not at all. But I think it's exciting because we don't get to see these teams play each other very often. Typically the top ladies teams and the top men's teams, their competitions take place in different cities. So it's unusual to have the top ladies teams playing against the top men's teams in a competition environment. At least, maybe not in training, but certainly in this competition environment. So I think we're all really grateful to Silvana's team for having good courage, took a deep breath and said, sure, we will play. and really put themselves out there with these top men's teams. And I think very much today what we've seen is that, yeah, not much difference between them really. Both of their games going to the last shot. They won one, lost one. And they will be hoping to continue their winning form from this afternoon. And looks like they've had a few nice shots here in this second end already. And they got a miss from the Bern team. I think they will be quite happy with how the second end is progressing. Anna in the chat says, "Go girls." So she's a Tirinzoni supporter. And Kent's in the chat again from New Jersey. Both of them joined us 2 weeks ago at the Baden Masters. I know the situation in North America is a bit less possible, let's say, than it is here in Europe. So we do have curling here in Europe. As we said, the tournament did have to be a wee bit flexible. That's why we have our special guests, Silvana's team here. But yeah, I think the situation is a little bit more workable here in Europe than it seems in North America. So glad to welcome all of our North American curling buddies to the chat. We're happy to be your curling club if your curling club in North America is still closed. So this end turning out pretty nicely so far for Tirinzoni. Again, just that nice controlled weight. The yellow has to go, but she wants this red to hang around. I see Esther just sweeping, maybe to try and get a little roll the other way, but no, that's fine. There is a double take out there, but never easy. There's a bit of separation between those two red shots. Tirinzoni has last shot in the second end. And looking nice so far. I don't want to curse them.
Go for the double. I have to hit it quite
Carrie's in the chat as well. She's from Portland, Oregon. So yeah, stay safe, Carrie.
Yeah, the one behind doesn't bite.
It's just one damn thing after another, I think, in Oregon, isn't it? So you stay safe. We're glad to have you join us. Maybe we can give you something to smile about, having a fun game of curling to watch. So first shot in the second end for Christian Bangerter. Very experienced player.
Antoine! Antoine! Go, 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 go!
So just the one, and I'm not even sure he's going to get that. Yeah, he didn't catch enough of that even to squirt that one out.
Sorry.
So, yeah, looking a little bit dangerous now for Team Bangerter. They don't have last shot in the second end, and look at all that space and all those nice reds hanging around for Team Tirinzoni. So they can really give themselves a big jump on this game. If they can sink one in behind that corner guard on the left as we're looking, they would be lying 3 red and putting a lot of pressure on Bangerter to get his team out of trouble. Just one shot left for yellow. We've got Didier in the chat as well. Hello, Didier. I think everyone's interested in watching Silvana and her team's progress this weekend. Like I said, not in some battle of the sexes type thing, just because we don't get to watch the top ladies teams play the top men's teams very often, and I think people appreciate Silvana's team making themselves available for this competition. So no mistake from Alina Petz. Very reliable fourth thrower. Schön indeed. So if you're yellow, what can you do? Yeah, Sounds like some smiles and giggles from Tirinzoni. This end's going very nicely for them. I think that's pretty much
Ja, nee, muss ja
your
irgendetwas
best choice, is to just follow that stone that Alina Pet's just played. And try and corner freeze. That's another option
Try.
that Daniel Imbersini is pointing to. So you could indeed, we would call that an in-off. So you would hit that red next to Christian's brush, and then your yellow would roll to the right as we look at it, hopefully in behind those two reds for cover. So that may be the better idea. It's only the second end, and even in a worst case, they should be at least removing this shot. In a best case, they'll remove this shot and get a nice roll, and in a worst case, they've at least removed one of the red counters.
When I played 9, it's not going to curl much, I think, out there.
You can hear that this is a Swiss team, but it sounds like they're conveniently speaking English for us so that we can understand what they're doing. My guess from these elegant names is that I know that Christian is a German speaker, and my guess is that his colleagues are either French speakers or even Romansh.
Antoine! Go! Go, Antoine! Hard!
So right idea, curled a little bit too much,
Yeah, I cannot always scream.
but yeah, they've cut it down.
Always shouting hard and you don't understand. You understand.
My colleague tells me that indeed Christian and Daniel are German speaking, so the fourth and third throwers from that team, and Kim and Antoine are French speaking. So one finds that in Switzerland more often than you might think, that you have some folks from the German speaking part and some folks from the French speaking part, and their most comfortable common language is, conveniently for us, English. So we can listen in if they're having team discussion. Alina Pats will be delighted with this for the last shot. All she has to do, we would say in Scotland, is find the paint, i.e. the painted part of the rink, the circles. No trouble at all there. Esther Neuschwander just keeping it clean. So definitely 3.
Okay.
Daniel was looking at that little red at the back, but I don't think that was hanging on, so I think that's a score of 3. Great end there for Tirinzoni.
So what do you want me to scream? Something else, nothing with heart.
And Michael Brunner just scooting through that game with a measure, so that gives us a nice excuse to say hello to the second game that's on this evening, and that is Yannick Schwaller's team are playing Jan Hesse's team. So all Swiss affairs, all Swiss teams out there this evening. And in the first end, Schwaller picked up a 2 with last shot. And it looks like they've just finished the second end, and it looked like Michael Brunner was bringing across the measure. So not sure what the score is there, but 2-0 after the first end. Measure complete by the look of it. We'll confirm that for you as soon as we see that on the board. You can keep an eye on that game if you want as well. That's the static camera, is always on sheets 3 and 4 for the whole weekend. If your favourite team is playing on sheets 3 and 4, you can always keep eyes on them. Our cameras for our featured game, they're on sheet 1 or 2. But yeah, plenty of curling to watch. If you're very fancy, maybe you could have one game on your iPad or your laptop and one game on your phone.
Come on. Just
Didier in the chat confirms for us that he knows the first and second players in Team Bangerter from Club Lausanne, which is indeed French-speaking part of Switzerland. Nice club in Lausanne, right next to the lake. Savannah just quickly checking that that yellow hasn't snuck into the house. Looks like
Yeah.
just stopped outside, which is what they wanted. If that had run on into the house, then Savannah would immediately just remove that shot from play. But at the moment, it's protected by the 5-shot free guard zone.
Mimmer. Goed. Wel, munt. Ik kan hem aan. Ja, best.
And as we've seen both at the Baden Masters and also this weekend,
Goed.
so far here in Adelboden, this 5-rock free guard zone, it really encourages this aggressive play. Even though Savannah's team is ahead, it encourages them to stay with the aggressive shots, not just hit for home, as we would say, not just revert to a hitting game. Now that they've got a bit of distance, they're +2. It would be easy to switch to a more defensive strategy, but the 5-rock free guard zone really encourages you to keep stones in play. So I do think that it's been a good move so far. I'm liking what I see.
Oh, nu, tikken, nu. It's heavy. Nu tikken. Okay.
Not a bad shot there from Bangerter,
Yes.
but it
Good.
did drift on over tee, giving
Close to the same, huh?
Tirinzoni the opportunity to sneak around and get to the face of that yellow. Use their centre guard. First shot here in the third end for
Ja, Mimmer.
Esther Neuerschwander, second player.
Voor het 12. Is goed. Ben hem aan dat. Is goed. Right. Right. Ja, goed. Aan hem aan het
Sounds like everyone's pretty happy with it. Bit of a help with the sweeping. But yeah, lovely shot from Esther. Just what they wanted. I can update you now. I'm not sure what they were measuring for, but I can certainly update you on the score in our neighbour game. And the Hess team, they came straight back with a 2 in the second end. So also in their third end, their score is 2 each after 2 ends.
Come on, all the way. All the way. All the way.
So they're giving this a really big sweep.
Oh, long, there is no switch, there is no switch. It's okay.
Didn't quite get as far as they wanted, but I thought that was stopping out front. So good sweep from Bangerter's team there. I'm pretty sure red is still shot though. Well, it looks like it is. So Savannah doesn't have last shot in this end. And they're discussing either they could put a guard out front and just block that path for Bangerter, make it harder for them to find a way in, or they could really put some pressure on. And I think they're talking about swinging another shot in behind even that yellow that Bangerter just played, looks like. Yeah, that's what Alina seems to be indicating. That yellow that Bangerter's team just threw has found a decent spot. It's not quite as far in as they wanted, but it could still be a danger to Tirinzoni's team. Diddy playing lead in Tirinzoni's team this evening and actually all day is Jenny Perrett. Very experienced player as well. World champion at mixed doubles. So pretty handy replacement for their normal lead, Melanie Barbatzet. Not quite sure what the final call was there. There we are, thank you, Savannah. I think that's probably the best idea. They're +2, they don't really need to take any risks. important is that they don't
Vorne
let
ist so
Bangerter
85.
play on that
Wenn der
yellow.
Miss auf der kurzen Seite ist 80, 85 ist gut.
We may clear
Ja,
the car
80
right,
ist
the
gut.
garden offloads. And that's not the right stance, she's just
The shot all about line then.
Finnen kurz.
They want to block that line and force Bangerter to go the other way, or
Sorry.
have to start playing some hits.
Länge ist aber recht gut. Linie. Ja, Länge auch. Die Länge ist.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. That makes it difficult. Not impossible, but it makes it pretty difficult to use that yellow that Bangerter threw before.
Hey, das ist effizient. Ja, ist gut. Geht aber nicht viel, gell? Just a 12.
Christian's saying just a 12, and what he means is a 12-second stone, a stone that takes 12 seconds to go between the near hog line and the far hog line. So that would be, yeah, probably about a hack weight if you're a little more old-fashioned.
Dip! 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 Dip!
Of course, they make it around that guard by nothing at all.
Nice.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much what they wanted. And they've just managed to squirt that yellow backwards as well. So like we said, that yellow was in a dangerous position, and indeed they've managed to move that back a little. Can't tell whether the yellow's now the shot, but I think either way, Silvana's aiming to snuggle a little stone right up into that nest and make it very hard for Bangerter to remove that stone and then to score. Bangerter has last shot in this third end. Therefore, Team Tirinzoni are, again, quite happy with how this end's working out. That yellow is nicely stuck in the middle there, but they've got plenty of reds around that they can work with. So I think Jenny now trying to sweep that to encourage it to curl, or maybe to try to catch an edge of that yellow and redirect it. So that's not so helpful from Tirinzoni there. That maybe gives Team Bangerter a bit of a chance.
Ja, ist gut. Kannst schon bis dahin kommen, das ist auch gut. Ja, lieber vorne. Ja. Oder Gartner.
For all the teams out there, all four teams, this is their third game today.
Wir können Garten über das Kreuz nehmen. Ja, können wir auch.
And they're used to that. 3 games in a day is a lot, but they're used to it. I don't expect that will be making too much of a difference. But yeah, 3 games for anyone, even if you're one of these top level teams, 3 games in a day is a lot. Got to keep that concentration up late this evening.
Yep. Oh! Shooter! Yep. Shooter! Shooter! Yeah. Good.
So Christian deciding
Good.
they have last shot.
Antoine.
That centre guard was not helping them any longer, and you can see that's really opened things up now. But yeah, I have an idea. If you play on that front red, I think you can squirt the yellow out to the right, as it seems to be what Alina's looking at as well. So they could do that, or they could keep with the aggressive strategy and just keep lobbing up some reds to make Bangerter's life more difficult. Like we said, I think plenty of support for Savannah and her team for this weekend. I think people are really happy to see them playing in this competition. That takes good courage to say yes, to put yourself out there with the top men's teams. So it looks like they're sticking with the aggressive call. I think they're again trying to sneak a red into that little nest just to the right of the centre line. So Savannah was a bit high with her first shot, so she'll have learned from that. She'll take a little bit off the weight with this shot. So certainly adjusted the weight nicely. That's fine. That's really blocked the path there. Look, you can't see anything of the centre there. So that's a really dangerous shot for Christian Bangerter and his team. Yeah, he has to do something about that.
Wo geht der Rot durch? Hä? Wo geht der Rot durch? Der Rot geht daher. Der läuft gerade runter. Der geht an dem vorbei nach
Bangerter's team have last shot.
Ja.
So Yellowstones have last shot in this end. That yellow just to the side of Christian's foot. That's pretty safe in there, but at the moment, rather difficult to get more than 1 point. That's why they want to remove these reds. So they were sweeping that out of hand. I think that's curled more than they wanted, but not a bad result there. They've got a happy little redirect onto the back red there and just chip that out, and now that front yellow is looking a bit more dangerous. Not at all a bad result for a plan B there. Yeah, now that red at the front there is starting to look a bit more vulnerable. Quite a lot of yellows hanging around, but yeah, plenty of reds around to work with as well. Looks like they're trying to decide whether to play that same intern draw or clockwise draw. I think that's the decision. Or the other idea was to maybe come up on the anti-clockwise draw and just nudge that red stone in the front 8 foot, just nudge that forward a little bit, and that would also keep another shot in front of tee for them. But I think they feel like they know this line, and they've got backing on this line as well. If this shot runs a bit long, they've got that red just at the back of the 4 foot that can catch it. So first shot from fourth thrower Alina Petz. We've seen her make plenty of these 4 foot draws for the team, not only today, but over the past seasons as well. So Kim Lloyd's exactly in her way. We can't quite see where that ended up, but it sounded like it was pretty good. It looks through all the feet like indeed that's exactly where she wanted it. She's got it right on the pin. There you are. Now we get a clear view at it. Yes, Christian's team can use that front yellow and drive it back, but you can see there's a whole pile of stones behind there ready to catch. Not so easy to remove that shot that Alina Petz just played and also have your yellow lying around yourself. And Christian is a very tall man, so he can cover almost all the stones in the house just by standing in front of it. But yeah, that's the shot, is to drive that yellow back. You can see there's a little bit of space in front of that red from Alina. So if you get this spot on, you could well be lying 2 and leave Tirinzoni's team a tricky shot to limit the damage or to keep the score low. So the sweeper's keeping it clean, but
Shooter out. Shooter and 6 out.
that didn't quite curl enough for them. But he certainly opened it up. Again, quite a nice result. Not quite the original plan, but a nice result nevertheless. But now that yellow is wide open. So it should be fairly straightforward, yeah, exactly as Silvana is indicating there. To remove that yellow and just roll just about a stone and a half to the left as we see it. And if she can really place it right on top of that red that Alina pads through with her first shot, then it could be a tricky shot even for Christian Bangerter to make 1 point. She's certainly got the yellow. A bit of a roll on the red. Everything open.
Okay. 10. 10.
Quite straightforward to make 1 point, and I think, yeah, the team is having a look, but I think, yeah, there's no shot there to try to make more than 1 point, so let's just make sure. It sounded like the call is a 10-second stone. A stone that takes 10 seconds to go between the 2 hog lines. Kind of a slow takeout or a barrier weight, if that's a more familiar nomenclature for you. Yeah, he just wants to get to the face of that red, make sure that the yellow sticks around as well. That means they're playing just that more controlled weight. He doesn't need a full takeout weight here, or he's much more likely to spin out himself. There, we can see the hog to hog. Let's see if they're accurate with their 10 seconds.
Whoa! Wait! Oh! Wait!
I think I would sweep that, yep. So 10.28, yep.
This sounds like
there we are.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just what they said. I think they were wise to sweep that though. That was starting to curl towards the end there. So nice shot. No opportunity to make 2 points there. So nice solid effort to put 1 point on the board. After 3 ends now in our featured game here this evening at the first Adelboden International WCT Men's Tour event. After 3 ends then, the score is 3-2 to Silvana Tirinzoni. So they haven't put that one up on the board. That was a single point there for yellow, making the score 3-2 to Tirinzoni. And Tirinzoni will have last shot in this 4th end. And in the game next door, you can see they're also on their 4th end. They've just started that. They had a blank end in the 3rd, so their score remains at 2 each after 3 ends. That's the game between Yannick Schwaller and Jan Hess. So those 2 teams very familiar with each other. They've played each other many, many times already. So they both know each other's game pretty well, I would think. And I think that's another reason that I expect that all of the teams in this competition will all be pretty happy if they get the chance to play Tirinzoni's team. Because it's always interesting to play a new team.
Oh!
They meet the same teams every weekend, and that's nice too.
Not in.
You certainly make some good friends out there. You play the same teams very often, but yeah, it's always interesting to play a new team, especially a team of this quality. And I would guess that all of the men's teams would be delighted to have a chance to play the current world champions.
Bisschen knapp, ja.
So super sub
Nein,
Jenny
recht
Perrett
gut.
throwing for lead
Länge
stones
ist
for
gut.
Savannah Tirinzoni today.
Länge gut. Nur Linie.
I'm not sure if Jenny's playing all weekend or if Melanie will be back tomorrow or Sunday. Let's see. But
Schön,
yeah,
Jenny.
seems like Jenny's doing a decent job. I'm sure Melanie will be pretty happy with her deputy there.
Sehr schön.
And I think that looks like, well, hopefully Jenny will be with us all weekend. So my colleague tells me that Melanie is injured. So that's never good news. I hope that
Kim.
it's not a serious injury to Melanie.
Kim. Kim. Oh. It's okay.
Jetzt darfst du einen Takeout spielen, jetzt ist es so weit.
Merci.
Das ist gut. Oh!
No, it was good.
Stanny, 9,5.
I'm not sure how the mixed doubles calendar is affected with the coronavirus and travel restrictions as well. I would guess they're in the same situation as the other competitions. So Jenny getting everything moving there. She moves the yellow, but just catches her own stone on the way out.
Ja, ist gut. Oder Nummer 2.
A wee bit unlucky there. But I don't think Savannah will mind too much. They've got last shot there, +1. So they don't mind if it's pretty clear in the house. They quite fancy keeping it clean.
Sieht lang aus.
I'm not too sure if
Gleich, wir gehen nochmal rundum.
Jenny's
It's in the house.
mixed doubles calendar is affected. Maybe that's why
T-line.
she has time to play this competition,
leave
which
it.
is nice for us. I think that just ran a bit longer than they wanted, that yellow. So again,
Nein.
Tirinzoni has the chance to just remove that shot and hopefully get a little roll behind cover. They've got last shot at this end, so a little roll in behind that yellow on the left as we see it. That would be a nice start to building up an end. So I think they're just going to roll out the other side of it. I'm not sure if the red's going to hang around.
Gut, Esther.
It does though.
9.
So it is open.
9.
Shot is really out wide there though. We don't play such wide ice very often. So I expect no mistakes here, but yeah, we don't play so wide very often, so sometimes you have to be a wee bit careful when your brush is so far out, but yeah,
Bit fast.
no trouble there. And now
Das sieht ein bisschen
Savannah's
schneller
still
aus.
wanting a shot in behind that semi-corner guard. She would rather that shot was a little bit further to the left and not quite covering the 4-foot there, but they'll take it. So let's see the hog-to-hog time on this shot. In the previous game, I think it was running, yeah, about 14.2 seconds or so. The previous end, sorry. So let's see if we can get an idea. 14.4, so yeah, it seems pretty good for weight. It's just over curled though.
Schlecht angesagt.
So yeah, looks like the weight was pretty nice, just took a wee bit of energy off it, touching that yellow on the way.
Da.
But keeping things nice and simple. They won't mind that too much either. And I think that probably Team Bangerter, they're happy to keep this end simple as well. If they get a chance to
The length is
maybe
good.
steal, I'm sure they will happily take it, but
Swiss.
Yeah, right.
looks like they're also happy to just continue
Nine,
keeping
nine,
things
nine.
clear, not let red stones build up. It's just the fourth end, so we're pretty much halfway in this game.
310, huh?
Tirinzoni 3-2 ahead,
310.
so no emergency yet for the Bangerter team. If this was the eighth end, then yeah, they would have to be a bit more aggressive, but plenty of ends left
Linie
But
gut.
you know,
before
the last
panic stations.
Oh, oh,
in the end, yeah, but
Oh, that's a pity. It looks like, yeah, that stone
it's always fine.
has picked up. That means that it's gone over a little speck of dust or a little piece of fluff in the ice. That's a pity. That's never nice when that happens. Doesn't happen very often these days. The ice is really good quality, but you see it from time to time. And that's always a shame. The opposition doesn't like to see that either. They don't feel happy about getting a kind of free shot because of a pickup on the other side. Nobody likes to benefit from that.
Nothing.
This is a nice shot. Look at that squeaked around the guard by Molecules. And right, just in front of T-line.
Huh? Ja, es geht schon. Du musst selber,
So a bit of bad luck with Savannah's previous shot there gave Christian Bangerter the chance to get a shot in play and maybe put some pressure on and go for a steal. So with this shot, Savannah will hope to have a bit better luck and a bit better result. She would ideally like to get the double take out here, but sounds like he's just got the guard, but that's fine.
Doppel nochmal.
Mir ist gleich. Mir ist gleich. Sie probiert wenn wir da machen, macht sie
Because
Doppel.
Savannah
Wenn wir da
and her
machen,
team
dann
are
macht sie
plus
Doppel.
2 points,
Also komm, Doppel.
even if they
Guard.
have to pick up a 1, they won't mind that too much. They've got a little bit of a cushion, not much.
3, huh?
Sorry, if they pick up 1 point, then they will have a cushion of 2 points.
Shouldn't be too far away.
Therefore, again, it's not the end of the world if Tirinzoni ends up picking up 1 here, largely as a result of that stone that had a pickup there. That really had to change their tactic here on this fourth end. Meanwhile, Team Bangerter,
Kim!
I think they're
Kim! Kim!
proposing to put that guard
Kim!
back. Or
Kim!
Kim! Until the end. Until the
Oh!
I
end.
think this is coming into the house
Till the
though.
end.
Oh!
Okay.
So line's pretty good.
Um,
That stone's a little bit closer, so I think the
of the
double
roll.
takeout
No,
maybe a little bit
good.
ja, ich glaube auch, ja.
easier this time, although double takeout's never easy.
Nein, eben nicht, weil sonst hat sie den Doppel mit
Looks like, yeah, they're going for the same shot again.
Das die Chance. Der
Ja,
Wegfahrer ist
weißt du, er muss auch nicht beißen.
You can see Alina and Savannah very much working in partnership. Alina's been a skip as well, where she also threw fourth. So not only is this team the world championship, current world champions,
Ja, vielleicht.
Alina Petz has been a world champion before with a different team. Their first time of asking. Alina Petz not scared of these shots. She's played all kinds of tricky shots in her career. And no trouble for her there either. Great shot from Alina Petz.
Merci. Sorry.
Meinst du gut?
To the house. We go behind the guard there.
Und weniger.
Ja, gib gerade auf die Mitte.
So this end pretty much playing out as we thought. It's all clear. Looks like Tirinzoni's team is not going to have too bad of a consequence for that pickup, so that's good. That's always a pity. So while this end is playing itself out, we can take a look at the A road. As I said, we started with 16 teams this morning, and we get rid of, well, half the teams win and half the teams lose every time. So there are now 4 teams who have won both of their games today, and they will play at 10:45 tomorrow morning. So 4 teams left in the A road after 2 rounds, and that is Team Jungen, who are from Adelboden here. So great day at the office for them. They started out with a win over Team Totzek from Germany this morning, and Team Totzek finished in joint 3rd place in the Baden Masters 2 weeks ago. So really happy start for them. And then they got a win against Yannick Schwaller, who's in the game on the neighbouring rink there this afternoon. So a really good day at the office for Team Jungen from Adelboden here. And also in the top half of the draw, the Italian team of Joe Ristornes, they won both of their games. This morning they played Team Bangerter, that we're watching in our featured game here. And then this afternoon they got past Jan Hess, who is also playing this evening's game. So those 2 teams from the top half of the draw, Jungen and Ristornes, they will play tomorrow morning at 10:45. At the bottom half of the draw, we will watch Peter de Cruz playing Team Schneider, also at 10:45. So those are the 2 teams who won both their games in the bottom half of the draw. De Cruz had a win against the young Heinimann team. It's their first season playing together, so a bit of a tough start for them. Welcome to World Curling. So De Cruz won their first game this morning, and they had a very handy win against Team Magnusson, who are from Sweden. They got a big 5 in the 5th end in that game, and that was basically too much of a hill to climb for Team Magnusson. So 2 wins there for Team De Cruz, and they will face Team Schneider, who had a win this morning against Team Rizzoli, and then another win this evening against Team Harsch, who are also from Germany. So that's the 4 teams who are still in the A road. Jungen against Retornas and De Cruz against Schneider. That take place at 10:45 tomorrow morning. But meanwhile, we've got 4 teams this evening battling to stay in the B road. And if they win this game, then they've got the morning off tomorrow. And they'll play at 2:15. And if they lose this game, there will be a C road game at 10:45 tomorrow morning. Just to confirm, that 4th end was blank. Bangerter did put a shot in play to force Tirinzoni's team to play their last shot, but no trouble for Alina Petz, just cleaning that stone out and blank in the end and holding on to last shot. At the halfway stage then, the score in this game is 3-2 to Tirinzoni. Tirinzoni with last shot in this 5th end. And on the game next door, it is 5-2 to Schwaller, playing Team Hess. So they picked up a big 3 in the 4th end. And they are now 5-2 ahead, also on their 5th end. Another busy day tomorrow. So starting at 8 o'clock, there are 2 games in the Sea Road. And then various more rounds in the A, B and C roads. And tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock, we will be ready for the quarterfinals. Plenty of curling from Adelboden for us to watch this weekend then. We won't be actively watching all the games, but certainly the semis and the finals, probably one of the quarterfinals. And remember, there's always the static cam. So that's there all weekend, watching rink 3 and rink 4. Oh, what's your, oh dear. Oh gosh, we could see that coming. Yeah, Yannick Schwaller pushing ladies over. Keep your stones to yourself. So it looks like Silvana didn't hurt herself, being knocked over there. Tirinzoni with last shot, remember, in this end. And she's already got 2 shots there. 2 nice shots again from Jenny Perrett. Jenny has been world champion at mixed doubles, so very familiar to her. All this drawing behind guards, drawing to the centre, stacking up the stones ahead of tee, setting up the angles. So great choice for alternate player. And if we didn't hear earlier, then yeah, Jenny is playing with Silvana's team all weekend. So Melanie Barbatzat, their normal lead player, she's injured, unfortunately. We hope that's not serious. And good that Silvana wasn't injured, getting bowled over by a stone from the game next door there. But she seems fine. The choice seems to be either to draw in behind that yellow corner guard or to remove that dangerous yellow. I think this makes sense. That yellow's a danger to them. You could quite easily drive that yellow back onto that pair of reds and spring both of them out. So I think, yeah, to make use of those 2 nice stones from Jenny, I think this is the right call to remove that yellow. So Esther Neuenschwander, second player in Team Tirinzoni. She's also had a very solid game today. Nice controlled weight. She's happy if this red hangs around as well. And it's definitely going to. Lovely shot from Esther. Really nice. So wow, played 3 in the house. It's a bright start in this 5th end for Tirinzoni. They do have last shot in this end. My guess is that Bangerter is going to start trying to remove reds here. I don't think he'll be very happy with all these reds building up.
Okay, you play the clearing.
So big weight coming now. How many has he got? So he moves all of them, but removes just that one. And now Tirinzoni has the chance to really come in behind that corner guard. Those 2 reds are probably still available for a double takeout, so important is that she gets another red into play behind that yellow, far away from those other reds. Make that a bit safer. Really important that this one gets there. They're giving it a big, big sweep. They don't want this one dropping short. So it didn't quite get in behind, but again, important is that that red is splitting the house now. Not so easy for Bangerter to remove all the reds at once. It looks like he's going to try and get this one at an angle and spin over and squirt out the yellow, the red on the right of our screen as we look at it. So these are always fancy shots to see. A nice across the house double. They're sweeping out of hand. Let's see how the line looks. He's not bad. He's got the right edge of it. So again, he does touch that other red, but doesn't get to move it out of play. I think the discussion is to remove that yellow, and where do we want the red shooter to wind up? And this makes sense, because if they again went for the dead draw to play T-weight just behind that yellow corner guard on the left of our screen, if it was at all short or wasn't quite perfect, then there's a relatively straightforward double takeout on those two reds, and then yellow could end up lying 2. So this makes a lot of sense to remove that yellow and get a roll again to the other side of the house, keep some separation between the red shots. Let's see how that shot worked out. So she did move the yellow, caught one of the reds on the way out, but look at that for a roll. Go right in behind that yellow corner guard. So lovely shot there from Silvana. And she won't mind too much that she picks out one of the reds. And like we said, it was a relatively straightforward double takeout on the reds anyway. So it doesn't really change what Team Bangerter would do with this stone. They're also looking for a roll across to the left. So they certainly got that. Has he got the red? He has a little bit, yeah. Nice effort there from Daniel Inversini. But Tirinzoni can see almost all of that yellow, I think. She'll be confident at pushing that through, and again she would love to roll further away from that red, bring play maybe back to the centre. She's got the whole house to roll to, and just keep plenty of room between those reds and not give Christian Bangerter the chance to make a double. So I expect this will be a controlled takeout as well, so maybe 11 seconds hog to hog. Let's see. We've got our own hog to hog timer here. Looks like, yeah, oh, okay, almost 13 seconds, so almost more like backline weight. But yeah, enough to move that yellow out of play, almost. And indeed rolling away from that other red, making a double takeout, I think, impossible. They look pretty flat to me, both of those reds. They're in the same kind of place behind the tee line. Christian again looking for then the hit and roll in behind that yellow to try and outcount that red. They don't have last shot in this end, Bangerter and the yellow stones. He would love to get one stuck right in behind that yellow. I think similar kind of weight that Silvana just threw, that controlled weight. He's certainly not rolling left. That's going to curl right onto the nose there. Giving Tirinzoni the opportunity to hit and roll even further to the right, put maximum separation between those shots and really force the game over to the other side of the house. Make it really hard for Bangerter with his last shot. He's only got one stone left. That would make it really hard for him to get any sort of roll right across the house and behind cover. That seems to be the call then, so I guess similar kind of weight, that controlled weight. Just enough to push the yellow out and roll the red to the right as we're looking at it. It's been a really well worked end so far from Tirinzoni, this fifth end. Again, I don't want to curse them. So sweeping hard now. This is curling onto the face a wee bit as well, so she gets a little bit of a roll to the right. Still quite a difficult shot for Christian Bangerter to get the hit and roll behind that yellow, but that's really his only option. So really well played end so far from Tirinzoni, really 7 for 7 shots. And you can see how that's worked out for them. They're looking really nice in this end, but I shall maybe stay quiet for the next minute or so because I don't want to curse them and spoil their nice end that they've worked so hard for. He's not going to get behind cover again. Same shot for Elena Pads. We'll get a nice big 2 up on the board there. And that will really put a bit of pressure back on Bangerter's team. Copy paste, Elena.
We need to roll. I tried to go a little bit faster. The first one was too slow. This one was 8.5. And I knew from Tigers it's going to curl a little bit down.
You can see Esther keeping it clean there. They don't want another pickup again. And yeah, no trouble there. Everybody already wandering off, because that's a really nice clean shot there from Elena Pets. So big score of 2, well worked there from Tirinzoni. You can see 8 shots called, 8 shots made, and that's their result, is a big 2 on the board in the fifth end, making the score in our featured game here. After 5 ends, it's 5-2 for Tirinzoni. There we go. That 2 up on the board now. As we said before, I think it's worth repeating. I think there's a lot of support out there for Silvana's team in this competition. We had a lot of people up early at 8 o'clock this morning to tune in to watch Tirinzoni versus Schwaller. It's a super lineup that we don't get to watch often. And yeah, we seem to have quite a few supporters tuned in this evening. I think people are really happy to see Tirinzoni's team here in this competition. And Tirinzoni's team, they will be pretty happy if they can keep up this form. No trouble there from Jenny Perrott. She's really got her T-weight in her pocket this evening. As we said, Jenny's been world champion at mixed doubles. So drawing to the centre, drawing to T-line. That's very much her normality. Bangerter's team no choice now. This is the 6th end. Only 3 ends, including this, to go. They've got no choice but to be aggressive. They need to get these 3 points back at least. If the scores are tied after 8 ends, then we will play 1 extra end. Oh, I think the shot's just going to run into the house. Oh, it is. So that's a mistake from Bangerter. Right call. They wanted a corner guard, but because that's just snuck into the house, it's not protected by the free guard zone, and Tirinzoni will immediately remove that yellow from play. No guard for you, Christian. Ooh, what they don't want to do is just swap one for the other. No, I think that's not too bad. Christian also having a look at it. From our angle, it looks like that stone may not be in the house, but it's the whole stone. As you're looking over the top of the stone, if any of the stone is touching the rings, so kind of including the overhang, so to say, that counts. But yeah, going for another corner guard there. You can see stones in the neighbour game really are flying, so no wonder one came and toppled Savannah Tirinzoni in the previous end. Looks like a lot of big hits going on next door.
Come on, all the way, all the way. Good. Nice.
That's a better result for Bangerter and for lead thrower Antoine. I'm not risking his surname again because I'm sure he'd be not very happy with how I did it the first time.
Ja, ich glaube, mit dem 80er bist du immer noch näher.
I think the call is now for Esther Neuenswander to come around that yellow guard just thrown, try and block that path, not let Team Bangerter have a chance to use their corner guard.
Ja, Länge ist recht gut. Ja, ist nicht sicher gut.
So exactly where Savannah's broom was, and one more thing, we don't want to sweep. So perfect shot there from Esther, all by itself.
Backline hack.
Backline hack is the call. The team from Bern in that position where they do need to try to build some points, but they also can't afford to let these reds pile up.
No line. No line. Yep.
I think that's exactly what they called for. Backline hack sort of way. They've got a roll to the other side, so no roll available. If you hit that yellow, there's no roll available to the left of our screen because you would catch your own red. But still important to remove that yellow. Last stone is with Team Bangerter in this end. And again, Tirinzoni, they won't mind if Bangerter scores 1, but they certainly don't want them scoring more than 1 and start closing that gap. Tirinzoni's 5-2 ahead. Another nice throw there from Esther Neuenswander. She's had a good day at the office today. Michaela is happy in the chat that we get to watch another match with Savannah's team today. So, yeah, me too, Michaela. I think, as I said, everyone's really happy that Savannah's team is supporting this competition. And, yeah, everyone's happy to watch these unusual matchups. Who knows when we shall have the chance to watch the top women's teams playing against top men's teams again.
nicht ein bisschen wickeln. Wenn du rauskommst, muss er nicht sehr viel wickeln für nachher dahinter. Genau, nur gerade so.
Again, the discussion not really about what's the shot. The shot is going to remove that yellow. The discussion is about where do they want their red shooter to end up. Alina helpfully showing us she wants a little roll to the left. So far, another really nice, tidy shooting end from Tirinzoni's team. Really taking the game to Bangerter, forcing them to play some shots out there. Hello to Paulius in the chat. You're quite right, that is Jenny Perrett. We just saw her on the left there. There she is, not sweeping the stone. They use the one sweeper method. Indeed, Jenny Perrett is playing on Silvana's team in this competition. Melanie Babatet has an injury. Doing a very capable job, Jenny Perrett at lead. Running out of stones a little bit in this end, Team Bangerter, to try to build points. They're 2-5 down. And they're struggling to just find the roll behind cover or the roll to safety. And they're running out of ends a little bit as well. This is the 6th end. It's an 8-end game. They're going to have to start making points pretty soon. Open hit then for Silvana Tirinzoni. She just wants to make sure that she doesn't catch that stone on the left as we see it. She doesn't want that yellow to squirt back and then jam on the red and then stay in play. Ooh, from her reaction, I think that might be just exactly what's happened. Ooh, it is. That's exactly what we said we didn't want to happen. So, unlucky result there for Silvana. That's given Bangerter a bit of a chance now. She and Alina just discussing what happened there. Did they need maybe slightly different ice, or maybe she was a touch outside the ice with her throw?
Come on, all the way! All the way!
Go, go, go!
So sweeping every inch of this shot. Kim and Antoine. But yeah, that was a wee bit shy for weight the whole way. That's why it curled a bit too far onto the guard, because it was a little bit short of weight. So a bit of a let off there for that unlucky result with Silvana's first shot. Not quite capitalising on that mistake, Team Bangerter. Now, indeed, they could just go ahead and remove that yellow, but jammed on the red shot and is still hanging around. But there's not much advantage to that, because the danger is those two yellow guards out front. And that is why Silvana's brush could be going for either shot, actually. If you played the counterclockwise handle, she might be going for to remove that yellow, but that's not what they'll do, because the danger shots for them are those yellow guards, especially that one close to the centre line. The call, therefore, is Alina Pats is going to draw around that yellow close to the centre and try and put it in the forefoot and cut down that scoring zone for Team Bangerter. We've seen her do this many times already today, Alina, and plenty of times in this and other seasons. It's got a bit to curl. Her weight looks lovely, and they're just trying to keep it moving to try and keep it in that direction, keep it in the curl. It's not completely hidden. You can see from Alina's face she's not totally happy with it. Weight was lovely, and it just didn't quite curl right in behind, but I'm pretty sure Christian can't get to the inside of that shot, so I don't think he can get a hit and roll to our left and get his own shot in behind those yellows. So not at all a bad result for Tirinzoni's team there. I reckon Christian can see probably half of that red stone. He can definitely remove it, but I think either he will roll out into the open or he will roll out completely. I don't think he can get rid of that red and stay behind cover, but then Alina Pets may face a double takeout to stop Team Bangerter scoring 2. Big chance there for Team Bangerter. Team Bangerter, sorry. Oh, can't decide with the sweeping. He wants to get as little of a roll as he can. He's got no roll at all. That's exactly why Christian wanted to stop sweeping, to try and make it hard for Alina Pets to remove that. I think there is a double takeout. Alina seems to think there is as well. Not much ice, so this will be quite a big weight she'll throw. And she wants to spring that yellow next to Silvana's brush. She wants to spring that one out and then spin across to our right and catch that yellow in the 12 foot as well. Just clear everything out. So big weight. She's pretty good. Here she goes again.
Thank you.
Thank you, says Silvana. Yep, big thank you to Alina for neutralising that chance for Team Bangerter. Team Bangerter, excuse me. It's getting late. You saw them having a look at that red just at the front, just to make sure that's not in play. So I think it must be clear that it isn't. Looks like Christian Bangerter just going to remove this red shot, and I guess he's going to roll out. I guess they're going for a blank end. Let's see. That's exactly what's happened. So, not a ridiculous choice, but they've only got 2 ends left, and they need to get 3 points at least out of these 2 ends. The other train of thought would be, okay, let's just take that 1 point and really try to maximize our use of the 5 rock free guard zone and steal another couple of points. But yeah, they maybe feel like they still have the better chance to make those points back by hanging on to last shot. So deliberately choosing to blank that 6th end. The score remains at 5-2 to Tirinzoni, with Team Bangerter having last shot. And why does Team Bangerter not really want to pick up one? It's not only because they're points behind. You would see teams typically try to avoid picking up only one shot with last stone. They would much rather pick up 2 points if they have last stone. And that's because if you have last stone, then at this level, scoring 1 with last shot is a bit like the default. And if that happened for 8 ends, you would end up with a score of 4 each. So that's why you want to really push to try to get more than 1 shot if you've got last stone. There's just confirmation of the scores. Both games in their 7th end now. Yeah, if you have last shot, then you want to try to get more than 1 point to break that default pattern.
Take it.
To confirm the score next door, that's the game between Yannick Schwaller and Jan Hess.
Take it.
That was a score of 1 in the 6th end for Schwaller. And he now leads 6-4.
Nice.
I have like 4:05 on the clock. And
So I wasn't watching that 6th end. I'm not sure what the situation was, whether they were forced to score 1 or whether they chose to score 1. But they've got that little cushion of 2 points now, Yannick Schwaller's team. Again, only 2 ends left, so Jan Hess's team has to come up with 2 points in these final 2 ends, at least, to keep the game going. And here in our featured game, the score is 5-2 to Savannah Tirinzoni. So Team Bangerter, they have to come up with at least 3 points from these last 2 ends just to keep the game going to an extra end.
Just here.
They did throw up that corner guard. You'll see that pretty much all the time in this situation. They did throw up that corner guard, but mixing up the tactics a little bit. And they just want to sit a stone right in front of that nice T-weight shot from Jenny Perrett.
Come on.
That will really give some backing to this yellow shot. If they can get it right to the face of that red, and right up close, then that yellow will be really nice and safe in there. That's what they need.
freeze it on that one.
So a little bit short, but corner freezing that front red instead. So it provides a little bit of protection, but yeah, it looks like Savannah saying even if we make a double takeout, don't mind too much. Important is she wants the yellow gone. The 6 nice again from Esther. That's just what she said. Doesn't mind too much if, even if the makes the double takeout. And actually that red's still hanging around. But important was we don't want to let these yellows build up, so now they are going to use their corner guard. That's the right call. They're just going to ignore that red in the centre. There's no advantage to removing that at this stage. More important is they want to get a yellow into play behind that guard. All the teams out there this evening, all of them have won a game and lost a game earlier on today. And we watched the game between Savannah Tirinzoni and Yannick Schwaller this morning. That was a really exciting game. If you didn't see it, then I highly recommend looking that one up on the video. That was our featured game this morning. And then this afternoon, I didn't get to watch all of it, but this afternoon was an interesting matchup between Team Tirinzoni and Team Totzek. Don't leave any T's for anyone else. The German team, and that game also went to the last shot, just like the game against Schwaller this morning. And I recommend maybe taking a little look at that last end between Tirinzoni and Totzek this afternoon if you haven't seen it. There was some nice shot making and maybe a bit of a strange decision.
have to play back 8, huh?
Tirinzoni's team ended up
We go
getting the
like
win
this.
from the German team Totzek this afternoon, even though Totzek had last shot in the 8th end.
En de knap, en de knap.
So yeah, I recommend having a little look at that
All the way.
and seeing what you can learn from the last end in their afternoon
Jam on the
game.
shot.
Oh,
Jam on the shot.
no, nothing. When it's T-line.
No. Just jam on the shot.
Yeah.
Difficult shots here that Christian Bangerter's calling.
And also managed to stay.
They have to play aggressive, but yeah, to really get to the face and to really make the freeze, that's a very difficult shot. I think it's important to know that, so when we see that the shot just doesn't quite work out, that's not because this is a bad team or something, not at all. They're calling for some really difficult shots because they have no choice. They need to get these 3 points back to take the game to an extra end. And you can see why it's so important to really make the freeze perfectly. That's why the freeze is well known as the most difficult shot in curling, because you have to get the line really perfect and you have to get the weight really perfect. If you leave any kind of a space, then your opposition has a chance to remove that stone from play, which is exactly what Tirinzoni is looking to do here.
What's that? Jenny, play. Okay, well.
Again, just that nice controlled weight.
Yep.
Give this one a bit of a chance to curl. Move it out the centre. Job done.
Ich würde am liebsten hinter Guard rollen.
Ja, so.
Red line at least 2. I'm
9.
not sure which is closer out of
9.
the red on the left of our screen and that front yellow.
Okay, guys.
Bit of work to do then for Team Bangerter if they're going to score more than 1 in this end. Again, Team Tirinzoni, they would be super happy if they can force Bangerter to score 1,
Oh,
and then they will get last shot back for the last end. They'll be delighted. This is again just over curling, but maybe they can get a roll the other way. But not quite enough to get to safety, to get in front of that red, get a bit of backing.
Wo möchtest
gut,
du? Ich finde es
Spitze.
gut so.
Sorry, Hein.
Wir haben nachher ja Pause bringen.
Gut, Spitze.
Pause, ja. So.
Open hit for Silvana here.
Okay. Machen wir das auch mal noch, ne? Yeah, that's why we go behind.
They're just methodically removing these yellow stones, not giving Christian Bangerter's team a chance to build up to.
Yeah, talk
Um,
with Chris.
Yeah, they also want this red hanging around. They've still got that yellow out front, remember?
Sehr gut, Lili. Sorry. Gut gespielt.
They need to be a little bit cautious. They don't want that Team Bangerter has the chance to bring that yellow into play. That's what he's having a look at now. He's saying, I think it's still line 2 red, but he's definitely having a look at it. What would we need to do to bring that one into play?
Entweder da oder am Kinn.
Yeah, I think that's a good call from Christian. I think
Entweder
they
da oder diese noch mal
they
teilen.
need to have some difficult shots come off to get back into this game.
Ja.
We're in the 7th end. Only one end left after this.
Probieren mal.
Ja.
Spiel Backline.
So, ha?
Backline. Ja.
So this is a nice idea. He's trying to play on that front yellow. working really hard to try to give himself a chance at scoring 2 points here and grab back a little bit of that deficit. What he wants to do is just catch just an edge of the yellow in the front ring,
Oh, it's faster.
bump it in a little bit, and then shooter will stay in the rings as well. Yeah, but it did look like he was coming out kind of hot.
Hard.
I think that's a bit more than backline.
Yellow.
He's had a nice result with a red catching a yellow again.
Ja, dat is nog weer met tempo.
So good shot there. You can see the red on the right of our screen. That's still closest to the centre. That's still line shot. But after that really nice throw there from Daniel Invazini, I believe yellow are lying second and third shot. So if Alina Pats makes a mistake with this, that's what Team Bangerter are hoping, or they're trying to make her shot as difficult as possible to try to get a mistake from them. They may still be able to give themselves a chance at scoring too. They've worked ever so hard this end, Christian Bangerter's team, to try to give them a chance of scoring 2 points with last shot, really vindicating their decision to blank the previous end. No mistake from Alina Pets, so back to red line 2. Yeah, I don't see a double take out.
Daar wordt het. Daar kijk je.
Their best chance is indeed to play a hit and roll in behind the yellow. And while they're setting up for that shot, I can tell you who's on tomorrow morning. So who has an early start? In the B road, we have Team Husley will play Team Van Dorp. Also at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we have Team Magnusson from Sweden playing Team Hash from Germany. So those two are B road games. And then in the C road, also at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we have Team Totzek from Germany versus Team Genner from Austria. And Team Heinimann from Switzerland versus Team Rizzoli from Italy. That's the lineup for tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Sorry.
Oh goodness, this is
Too slow.
coming in hot.
11-4.
It's not good. It's too slow. Yeah, I thought.
Oh, actually, no, my mistake. That was coming in slow. He was trying to go for the hit and roll. He wasn't going for the draw. That had the opposite effect then, so not quite enough weight on that shot. Therefore, it curled a little bit too much and missed everything.
Oh, I think we prepare for the draw.
And that's a pity. They've worked ever so hard this end, Team Bangerter, to try to give themselves a chance. They could really have done with that shot coming off. They may have had their chance and lost it now. Still lying 2 red then. And I suspect Alina Pets is going for the front of the 4 foot, the front of the red circle, to really block any chance of Team Bangerter being able to score 2 in this 7th end. But let's see. We've seen one stone pick up already. And
Die gaan we er beide wel installen.
Team Bangerter will be hoping that Alina Pats has a miss at some point.
Gondine, Achtung. Ja, ja. Ja, ja. Dan gewoon mega open. Ja, ja. Ja, ja. Fest.
The both sweepers really helping that one along, but yeah, I don't think it's no panic there. Yeah, another nice shot from Alina, just where we thought. No shot then for Team Bangerter to score 2 points here. He wants to just draw the 4 foot. I think if this shot's hanging out, he could potentially get a little help from that red. He could catch an edge and roll in towards the 4-foot on the inside of that red shot. But never easy. I'm pretty sure that's 3, yeah, that's 3 red shots lying. And drawing against 3 shots is never easy, especially when this is last stone. And golly, yeah, by the position of the sweepers there, I thought, gosh, that stone seems to be curling a lot. And oh dear. Oh, that's not got the legs either, even with that big sweep. So I think that's 3 to Tirinzoni. And indeed, yeah, that's enough for Team Bangerter. No way back from there. So 3 scored. Really well worked end again there from Tirinzoni. They really got better and better in that game. And that score of 3 in the 7th end. That makes the final score a win for Tirinzoni. 8 points to 2. They'll be happy with that performance. The whole team, I think. Tirinzoni's team all played really good stones there. And that means they will stay in the B Road, and their next game is at 2:15 tomorrow. We won't find out who they will play until the result of an earlier game tomorrow morning. But they're safely through to the next round in the B Road. And Team Bangerter they will play tomorrow morning at 10:45 in the C Road. Both teams then just doing a last stone draw for their next round. And while they're doing that, I can quickly update you what's going on next door. They're also in their 8th end. They do need to play their 8th end. But the score is 7-4 to Team Schwaller. Jan Hess's team, they have last shot, needing a 3 at least to keep the game going into an extra end. So quite a big ask, but they do have last shot. So it's definitely possible. But Schwaller's team, of course, will be trying to do the opposite. My guess is they will be trying to run them out of stones, and what that means is there will not be 3 stones left in play for Jan Hess's team to be able to score 3 points. The winner of that game between Schwaller and Hess, they also stay in the B Road. Their next game will also be at 2:15, and they will play the winner of the 8 o'clock game tomorrow morning between Magnussen and Harsh. From the Adelboden International, the very first edition of the Adelboden International. That wraps up our first day coverage, and we will be back tomorrow, so do please join us and feel welcome to say hi in the chat. The first game's at 8 o'clock, which I think we probably won't be covering, but we will be back to cover the games at 10:45. Yeah, so remember, the game's at 10:45. That will feature the 4 teams who are still in the A Road, the 4 teams who are unbeaten so far. So that will be an exciting draw. We will be having Team Jungen, local team here from Adelboden, versus Team Retornas. And we will be following, our featured game will be Team de Cruz versus Team Schneider. So that promises to be an exciting game tomorrow morning. So yeah, put the kettle on, make a pot of tea, and come join us for a nice leisurely Saturday breakfast or brunch, and plenty more curling to come this weekend. So thank you everyone for joining today, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.